Greetings, friends, family, and survivors. Just a real quick update. It's been 2.5 years getting to this point. We've only been living here for a year and a half, but we started this project 2.5 years ago, and all that work to get to this point right here. And now we're going to be able to spend a whole lot more of our energy and resources in doing what we were sent here to do. Now that we're established and the shop is a place where I can work on stuff without being out in the weather, I can turn my energy towards helping the people in the community. So I will be having some more videos coming up about that, helping all different kinds of people with all different kinds of things. And so the ministry is twofold. Yes, I am a pastor on staff at a local church. Yes, I do teaching and preaching and counseling in the church, that sort of thing. But also the other side of the work is doing the work of a missionary, which is sharing the love of God as you help people with their issues of life. And sometimes that's, hey, my solar system's broke down, or I've got, my well doesn't work, what do I do? Or got a bull calf got out of the fence again, and fixing fence and that sort of thing. Or I'm out of firewood. We hear that one a lot. Just, we've done every different kind of rescue you can imagine out here in this area helping people, and I'll be able to spend a whole lot more time than I have been doing that. Carol and I are both very excited about that. It's like being able to take a deep breath and a sigh of relief, and now we can go to work. And it's kind of interesting, as we've been working very hard physically getting to this point, but now we can go do the work that we were called to do. Have been doing all along, but not anywhere near as much as we would like to be doing. So we're excited about that. And hopefully I can put together some better quality videos about helping people. I've done a few over the last year, but it's just, I've been so busy, I haven't had a chance to really videotape anything, because it was all about get the job done and get out of there, because I got to get back here to this homestead and make it functional. Well, we're there. We're okay. We're just so blessed. So we had enough lumber to frame this in, just enough to frame it in, 2 boards extra. And we thought we were going to have to do some more milling from the other homestead. As it turned out, we had just enough to frame it in and build the benches. And so the siding is done on the outside, and we've got electrical in here, and no heat yet. Not sure what I'm going to do about heat. I do have another Blaze King catalytic stove, which you've seen at the other homestead, and a through the wall kit, and I may put that over there. But for now, I think I'm just going to put the little propane heater right here and set the 70-gallon propane tank outside and just do it that way for right now. It won't heat the room, but if you're working on something where you have an emergency and you have to work on something and it's, below zero, you can get your hands warm enough to function. And we'll do that for a while. Probably put the wood stove in next year. So we are doing really, really well, really blessed, and very thankful to be at this point. A couple of the things that were getting really old was, chaining this quad up and tarping it and untarping it every time I needed it. I had the radial arm saw and the table saw under a tarp. Every time I needed to use it, I'd have to go untarp it. And we were functioning, it was doing okay, but it just seemed like a lot of things were a lot of extra labor, because I'm out in the sun, in the wind, in the dirt. And you can't imagine how pristine this feels in here. I feel like I could actually, pull a carburetor down or rebuild an engine if I needed to. So I'm going to hopefully go to the other homestead and pick up my new engine and the engine hoist and the engine stand and stick it in the corner. And then if I get inspired, maybe I'll throw the engine in the truck. The lighting in here is the string lights from Harbor Freight. And the light bulbs are 60 watt equivalent. Daylight is the color, and they're 8 watts a piece, so 24 light bulbs in here. I believe is what 196 watts, so 200 watts. Lights it up very, very nicely. And 200 watts is that's nothing compared to what it would be if you had fluorescent or incandescent in here. So we're really thankful for inexpensive LED bulbs now. You can get good bulbs for $1 a piece. And when we first started into this, when Cree bulbs, you could get a Cree for about $11 for one light bulb. I went, all right, we can do this. Off-grid is possible now. It's all about lighting. It is all about lighting when you're off-grid. And having lights that use very, very little energy. Just amazing. And this welder right here, I can weld 1/4-inch plate, 100% penetration with about 25 to 30% duty cycle. And for around here, what I'm doing, that's all I'll ever need. And that runs fine on the solar system. I had to give up the 3 horsepower oil bath compressor and go with a smaller oil bath compressor. It's less CFM. I lost 2 CFM. So this one's 4 and the other one is 6, but this one runs on the solar system. And this just the kind of things you have to do is make a few adjustments. So I have one 15 amp circuit coming out here to the shop at this point. And probably in the spring, I don't want to dig a ditch right now. It's too late in the year, but I'll trench over to the house and I'll pull a sub-panel circuit out here and I'll hang a sub-panel on the wall and we'll get some real power out here. And that'll be a good thing. I brought the portable planer up from the other homestead and I was going to plane these boards as Douglas fir, and they're really, really hard dry boards. They've been it's not green lumber, and the knives are getting a little dull. And the other planer could haul the boards back over to the other planer at the other homestead. There's a 5 horsepower 240 volt 20-inch commercial planer there, but I wanted to get the bench going now. I needed it now, so I'll have to get a belt sander and I'll just sand it down with a belt sander and we're going to call it good. So at some point we're going to put a platform around 3 walls, heavy duty enough that I can put an engine block up there if I need to, and we'll be able to pull the canoe up into the rafters and hang bicycles on the wall and that kind of stuff, and just kind of utilize the high ceiling. We did pour the slab in such a way where we could put a hoist, a 2-post hoist in here if we ever wanted to, but a very close friend of mine who lives very close to me has a 2-bay shop with 2 hoists and a complete shop, which he did as a business there for a long time. So I really don't need a hoist since he's got one, but if I ever wanted to, the ceiling's high enough, the slab's thick enough, I could put one in here if I needed to. Kind of don't want to because I don't want to walk around the column posts all the time. But if we have to, that's what we'll do. Whatever it takes to be a blessing to the people and help the people. Again, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And love is an action verb. In the Greek, in the Bible, agape, and the action agapeo, it's an action verb. Love doesn't just talk. Love moves out. Same with faith. Faith doesn't just sit there. Love moves out. Faith moves out. And I think it's in 1 Corinthians 13, towards the end of the chapter, something like that. It says, now these three things abide: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. And that's because faith is a gift, Ephesians 2, 8, 9. Hope is a biblical assurity, and it's also a gift. But love is the gift giver himself. 1 John 4:16b, for God is love. And with that, I bid you a good night.